Alright, so we're going to do a little experimenting with some rocket stoves. Goodness. We got one first rocket stove, which is just really plain. It's just 2-inch, and I still got a little standoff to put in the bottom of them so they can breathe. It's just a regular one. I don't have anything mounted on the top yet. The next stove is I was using that for a template to make holes. Next stove is going to be a self-feeding stove. These stoves here, I'm getting ready for that looks like it's got a anyway. These stoves here are going to be testing, playing around with a vortex. If you notice, they're 2 pieces, and they'll each come apart. This one will actually, it's just sitting on top of there right now. It's got a vortex in it that I'm going to play with, and it will actually go on top of the other one right there. And I can test different length stove pipes, the exhaust gas pipe, and see how that works, and play around with a vortex. Actually, I have one that's a clockwise vortex, another one's counterclockwise. That was an accident. I was thinking I'd be able to just flip the thing over and it would work either way, but each way it flips, it's still clockwise or counterclockwise. Oops, can't remember. But anyway, and I can't see that far across the table. Then I've got another one here. That's going to be the feed sheet. I'll put some sort of damper mechanism like on there. That's going to be the feed tube. I'm sorry, that'd be air intake down there. That's the feed tube, and that's the exhaust stack. And I'll finish putting something up there to be a windshield and flame arrestor type thing scenario. But I'm just playing around with a couple of different designs. That's 3-inch square and 3-inch tube, which you can't put 3-inch square inside of a 3-inch tube. So I had to modify the sides. Of course, I knew that before I got started, and that actually became an interesting project. I've got the back thing here just tack welded, and the other side's open, or not tack welded. And I'm going to experiment with vortex on this one by feeding one thing in one side and the other in the other. Let's see. Oops, can't see. Let's see. No, don't look like you're going to be able to see down in there to see what I got in there. But anyway, I'm working on a you can almost see it. I'm working on a vortex down in there, using the pipe itself. So I haven't fired any of these up yet, but whenever I start testing, I've got 5, and I'm thinking about doing another design, seeing if I can simplify the build, build them faster and easier. So anyway, I haven't gotten to that part of it yet. That's yesterday's work there. This is today's work here, but I only had a couple of hours to get out. But I really like this one here. I'm reducing the flow, the airflow, and concentrating it to and restricting the flow going up the tube. And when I restrict it, I'm actually creating a vortex. So this is going to be, hopefully, a good hot stove that burns less wood. Then these here, I don't know, they're going to blow and go, I guess. I've got several pieces of square that I'm going to use, and just playing around with it. I'm going to close the vent off. I've got a little gap there, and then a smaller setup here. It gives me a little bit more air. and then a little smaller setup here that's going to give me a little bit more air. And I'll play around with those while I open and close the main feed tubes down at the bottom. But my intentions are to have wood sticking out of those, except for this one here with the feed tube. So I think that one there, I may end up either adjusting the top or the bottom. And then this feed tube here, I'll take significantly larger. Whoops, sorry about that. That'll take 8-inch wood, and you can still close the top. And I'm going to play with that. I've got something here that I just throw that up on there, and I can play with that a little bit and, you know, adjust some airflow or whatever, just to play with. If I need to build something else, I will. And then that down there to close that off. And rather than going to the side with it, I'm going to move it out and see if I can. But anyway, that's what I'm going to do. And then I've got this material over here. It's got some, let's see, this is 2-inch, that's 3-inch. This is some more 2-inch. I figured I'd play with a 2-inch. This is a 3-inch. This is 4-inch, and that's 4-inch. And so eventually I believe what I'm going to end up with, I think those are around 10-foot sections. I went to the metal shop and just bought what they had cut already. I believe what I'm going to end up with is the 4-inch square tube and the 3-inch riser stack, I think. And it depends on, and the only reason I'm going to do that is because I'll limit the air that goes through the 4-inch through the intake, and I'm going to adjust the intakes actually back and forth and have intakes coming in just after the burn, the wood, and one in the rear. And that's what I'm planning on doing with these here. You notice there I've got, it says holes if you can't read it. I'm going to put a slice. I just hit it with the plasma cutter, I think, or I may drill some holes. And I'm going to play around with feeding cold air to it, and then run a piece of, if I get to the metal store, I'll use some tubing. If not, or some channel, I'm sorry. If not, I'll use some angle to run from the front here, where this chamber is nice and warm, all the way back here, preheating the air before I let it in back here. Back here is where there's two sides to the vortex, one on the one side, one on the other. So we'll see how that works. Alright, next video will be the actual burn test. I gotta go cut some wood up to 8 and 10 and oh well, I said 8, 9, 10, 11. It's 8, 10, and 11 inch, so I can test them all out. But anyway, here we go. Until next time.